I've recently started a couple of videos on my channel where I was titling them How Woke Has Become a Joke. I already did 2 parts. One of them I was going to do as a part 3 and this would have been part 4, but I decided to title it something else. But I guess you can say that's an offset of How Woke Has Become a Joke. But this is like an official part 3. I think this is starting to become a series, like I said in a previous video, but I don't know yet. We'll see how it goes. But this is stemming off of the video that I did when I was talking about how it was the video called entitled Diversity Drowning, where it was talking about what happened with the Ocean Gate submersible. And of course, since that time, more details had come out. Since then, of course, we already know what happened to the 5 individuals who was in there. I even alluded to that in that video and saying, like, they're most likely gone. And that was before they officially announced that they were gone, even though I believe they were already dead before they announced it, because it was word out there that they most likely died the same day they went down there. But at any rate, this tweet right here that went up on June 22nd, 2023, and I'm recording this on June 27th, 2023, from this individual by the name of Joey Manarino, is another reason why I say how woke has become a joke. Because remember in the video I talked about when they called it a diversity drowning, and how they said the CEO Stockton Rush was woke because he said he wanted to have a diverse crew working on that submersible. He didn't want it to be just a bunch of 50-year-old plus white men. And you know how PC ended up getting in their feelings. Now this Joey Manarino, I believe, is Italian. I mean, look at that last name. You can tell that's not the quote-unquote all-American last name, and I believe he is Italian. And I already told you the Italian, aka the new white, have only been considered white for like at least 100 years. So they're what I call the new white, or the recent white, who think that, y'all know the story, y'all know the deal. But he wrote this tweet, and it's actually a couple of them, and we're going to go through all of them. I think it's 3 of them. But when we get to the last one, that's really going to show what it is and how many people have pushed back against this woke narrative, because it's become so ridiculous at this point that they're throwing woke onto everything. But you'll see what I mean when we get there. So this first tweet that he put up there says, "Wokeness killed the people on that submarine. Let that sink in." Now, I don't know if he meant that as a pun or not, considering that he said let that sink in. Then he says they died because the new woke CEO said he wouldn't hire 50-year-old white men who knew how to command submarines and would rather train others. First off, it wasn't even a submarine that they were in. It was a submersible. A submersible and a submarine are 2 different things. So you already know right off the bat, he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Then he said, and the CEO died too. That's the next level of go woke, go broke. Now, this guy wrote all of this before all the details really came out about the submersible and the implosion and everything like that. But this guy, like those in that article, were trying to blame it on the CEO, saying that he didn't want to hire a bunch of 50-year-old plus white men to work on this submersible, and calling it woke and saying wokeness is what killed them. That's why I keep telling y'all how woke has become a joke, because they will throw it and attach it to anything. But remember what I've told you, they're telling on themselves. Anything that does not include the heterosexual white male in any capacity as a collective is considered as woke. And really, let's just hypothetically say woke was Superman. And we all know that Superman's weakness is kryptonite. That word diversity would be the kryptonite to woke. I think that's the best analogy that I could give. But that's just the first tweet. Let me show y'all the next tweet. He goes on to say, and it has a video attached. I'm not going to play the video. It says, this post seems to be triggering to some, but you can listen to this right here, where he says he's not hiring on competence, but on what will quote unquote inspire people. I don't care what color you are. I don't want damned inexperienced people driving my submarine. Again, he's calling it a submarine when it's not a submarine. But the thing of the matter is, he still got triggered by when he said that he wasn't hiring 50-plus-year-old white men. He still got triggered, and he's telling other people not to get triggered as well. But the next post is where he really exposed himself. This one right here. He said, guys, I know this is confusing to some, but the word woke is not a substitute for the word black. Black and woke aren't related. I know plenty of woke white people, far more actually than woke black people. So I know it's catchy to yell racism at everything, but you're wrong. The fact that he wrote this tweet in response to people means that black people got in his ass. Because now that's when he's talking to us, because black people was correcting him on the word woke. So let's break this down. He said, I know this is confusing to some, but the word woke is not a substitute for the word black. Actually, it is. But what they do is they throw other things in there to throw you off. It's almost like a smoke screen, so you really can't see the forest from the trees, so to speak. But it really is, considering that black people are the ones that came up with the term woke, which leads into the next statement he makes when he says black and woke aren't related. Actually, black and the word woke couldn't be more synonymous if he tried not to have it be as one. Because black people are the ones that created the word woke and gave it the proper definition of what it is before it got bastardized. I remember seeing in the comment section when I was doing one of the videos talking about woke, and then somebody was trying to say something along the lines of words change all the time, it's not yours anymore. Basically, you're telling on yourself again that you colonized the word and it turned it into whatever it is. And going back, remember, when you look at the video, or the videos I should say, that I've done on how woke became a joke, part 1 and part 2. The first one was with Nikki Haley or Nimrata, Ron the Snowflake, and Donald Trump. They all had their takes on the word woke and couldn't even properly define it. Bethany Mandel couldn't define it, and she quote unquote wrote a book on it. Then I did the one on Jonathan Isaac and him talking about he's making a pro-Christian anti-woke clothing line, and he can't define it either. And this is the whole black man. Now you have this guy right here, and the others talking about woke is because the CEO of Stockton Rush said he didn't want to hire a bunch of 50-plus-year-old white men to work on this submersible. See, and all of their definitions, quote unquote, are different. It's not one central definition. I always say when it comes to a word, it should have no more than at least 2 meanings. What they've done with the word woke is now spiraled into like 10 plus definitions, and not one of them are correct, but they'll tell you that it is because I'm white and I say so. Just like him saying black and woke aren't related, even though they very, very much are. That's why whenever they bastardize the word and they use these various definitions that they decided to give it, we'll always say it's linked back to us somehow, because we created the word, or at the very least gave it the proper definition. Because let's be real here, PC was not using the word woke 20 years ago. Hell, they weren't even using the word woke 10 years ago. That word is very, very new to them and has become very, very colonized. All you got to do is just go on to YouTube and type in the word woke and see it being posted in various videos on YouTube and see how they are using it in their videos. And I'm telling you, they're telling on themselves, and every last one of them is different. It says, I know plenty of woke white people, far more actually than woke black people. So I guess this is his way to take a dig at Stockton Rush. Then he says, so I know it's catchy to yell racism at everything, but you're wrong. Of course, we're wrong because, again, he's a wannabe white. Again, he's Italian American. And I was right, because I looked at his bio on the side and it says that he is Italian American right there in his bio. So I kind of figured that just based on that last name alone. But he's saying that I know it's catchy to yell racism at everything, but you're wrong. And here's the thing. They sit here and think that black people yell racism at everything every single day. They don't know black people that well at all. We call out racism when it deserves to be called out. They just get upset because we actually acknowledge it for what it is. We're supposed to just turn a blind eye and just deal with it, according to them. And what Joey here is upset about is the fact that we called him out for this BS post. Now, despite how many people feel about those 5 individuals going down in that submersible was not the best thing to do, considering it was poorly and very cheaply made, The fact of the matter is that this guy, Joey Manarino, and those people who, for the article that I read about saying it's a diversity drowning, that was very disrespectful to say, because that's not the reason why the thing imploded or why they died. It's far from it. Just because you were upset at what the CEO said, it doesn't mean that it was a diversity drowning or they died because of wokeness. That's ridiculous. Again, I keep telling y'all, woke has become a joke because that's what happens. Not just even with the word woke, but just about anything that they take that they did not come up with, and they turn it into this. And that's why when I did my video, it was that article that I had read. It was a headline that says woke no longer has a meaning. And when you think about it, it really doesn't. Of course, we're going to still hold on to it, the original meaning of it. But the thing is, while we hold on to the meaning of it anymore, a lot of us don't even say the word anymore out loud or in conversation, because they have literally taken it and it got lost literally in translation. And the crazy part about it is, it didn't even take them long to do it. If I had to guess, maybe 1 or 2 years tops. And they're still using it. And they're still twisting it up. And it's so easy to debunk. That's the crazy part about it, because we know the original definition. And even when we say what the original definition of the word is, they do this. As a matter of fact, they'll take the word and make it even more worse, which, if there was a talent for that, they would win first prize. Unfortunately, there's no talent in being stupid and ignorant and anti-black, for that matter. There's no talent there. Talent means that it's something unique that you can do that a lot of people probably can't do. This is too easy for them. And one thing I've learned in life years ago is, if it's easy, it's sleazy. And it's a lot of sleazeballs around because of how they misappropriated and misused this word. And the crazy part about it is, it's other black people that out there, like your Jonathan Isaacs of the world, who constantly misuse that word the same way they do. And this is a whole black man right here. So I guess because PC made it into a terminology that you feel is comfortable, you feel like, oh, I'm gonna use that too, because, you know, I'm trying to be on the winning team. Same thing that can go for this Joey Manarino guy. Again, he's part of the recent white crowd, as I like to call it. But I'm glad people checked him on that. And that's why he wrote all of this, especially this last post right here, because black people was clowning him. And literally, if you go through the replies and the quoted tweets of his thread, that's all you're going to see. It's even gotten to the point where even some PC people are tired of seeing this word everywhere, because they're trying to squeeze it into places where it does not fit. You're looking for a straw man argument when it wasn't one. All you had to say was that, you know, they lost their lives because it was cheaply made. It failed all kind of safety codes and regulations. The CEO was being very arrogant. I don't know why people paid $250,000 a pop to go into this canteen to go look at a ship that's been down there since 1912, after it's been researched and looked at so many times over. If you want to throw an RIP in there and offer condolences to the family, do so at that. He couldn't even do that. He didn't even say RIP to the people who went down there or offer condolences to the family. He immediately went to, oh, it was wokeness that killed them. You know, the CEO was being woke. If he wasn't being woke, then this wouldn't have happened. You know, this is go woke, go broke. Again, these people have no heart. They have no soul. These are soulless beings. And again, this is another example of how the word woke has become a joke.